There's lots of interest in tactical equipment down to the smallest detail. I'd argue that there are other things that you should be worried about, but to be fair, an item that you're going to use every day, almost everywhere, is at least more important to talk about than a unicorn piece of gear that you're probably only ever going to use once in a lifetime, if that. Of course, if you looked at the title, I'm going to review the Casio W-800H-1BVCF. That's a mouthful that says a lot of nothing to most people, so I'm just going to call it the most reasonable duty watch that you can buy on Amazon for most applications. It's similar to the old F91W. If you're old like me, you remember seeing this on schoolyards in the late 80s, early 90s. On an interesting note, that watch is actually common among the fighters that are currently taking back Afghanistan. I mean, that speaks to Casio's overall reliability and trustworthiness when it comes to keeping accurate time, right? When both sides of a conflict are using something, it's gotta be good. Or at least cheap and durable enough that you can keep replacing them as needed. So we're going to get into the specs real quick of this watch, and then we'll get into the pros and cons, and finally what I think. So it is a square shape, and it's a resin body. It's got nothing really special for the face, nothing scratch resistant or anything crazy like that. I mean, it's $20. But the overall case diameter is 37 millimeters, and the watch band size is 17 millimeters. The band material is plastic. It has a stopwatch. It is a quartz movement, and they claim that the battery is supposed to last at least 10 years. The display is an inverted display, so it's going to be the field, not the numbers, that's going to be blacked out. Personally, I like the look, but we'll get into that in a little bit. And its water resistant depth is rated to at least 100 meters, so it's not going to get jacked up in the field. As long as you don't do any crazy dives with this watch, you should be good to go. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's really dig into this watch. Here's a few of the strengths that I think it has. So one of its pros, it's lightweight, and overall it's very slim. A large watch gets in the way of lots of things, period. It snags on the outsides of pockets whenever you reach in there. It catches on sleeves and slings. I want it completely out of the way and hidden until I need it. Outside of a duty environment, because I already have my phone, I'm not necessarily going to be looking at my watch for the time. Strange, right? However, if I'm playing music on my phone at the gym, I don't want to switch from the timer to the music app or YouTube or whatever that I'm listening to, just so that I can check one or the other. It's a hassle. So this watch is perfect as a stopwatch. Outside of the gym, it's small enough that I'm not accidentally dinging it on walls or grinding the watch face, which is unfortunate because I have a few automatic watches that I really like, but they've definitely suffered some damage. So I want something that's going to be durable, but at the same time, I don't like looking too cheap. That's important if you're trying to build some professional connections, which leads me to my next point. It's cheap, but it doesn't look cheap. For a watch that can be had for around $20, it looks cool and it functions well. Speaking of duty environments, this leads me to my third pro. It is easy to clean due to the materials used in its manufacture and its ratings. The watch is water resistant to 100 meters, so washing this thing in a sink, if it gets bad, shouldn't be a problem. As a matter of fact, you need to be cleaning your watches, and especially your watch bands, a whole lot more than you think. So outside of a military environment, there are a lot of blue-collar jobs where you might encounter nasty human or industrial fluids. Nursing and other healthcare, food service, petroleum-related jobs, cleaning services, you name it. There's a liquid that you can encounter at work that you don't want against your skin for any period of time, especially if it's a biohazard or if it's caustic. Let's get into the cons of the watch. Number one, it's cheap. Yes, I know that's also a pro, but hear me out. The materials are going to reflect the price that you paid. Sure, the main body of the watch is probably going to last long enough for you to take advantage of the 10-year battery life, but I'm willing to bet that if you live hard enough, that watch strap is going to be the first thing that's going to go. It was the strap that gave out on my other watch, but the good thing is, with the modern supply system being the way that it is, it's easy to hop onto Amazon and get a replacement sent to you by the next day. Just be aware that if you do replace your watch band with a NATO band, you're going to lose the quick and efficient maintenance benefit. Just make sure that you keep an eye on how your strap is doing and you should be fine. As for eyes on, there's lots of complaints about not being able to see the display on on low light. This is largely dependent on the individual, and at $20, it's worth the risk for you to try out and see if it works for you or not. Without knowing you individually or your eye problems, I can't make any definitive statements whether or not this will be a good choice for you. If you're not satisfied with the product, you can always send it back. And the third con that I picked up, there is none. I mean, those two issues were all that I can think of, honestly. Anything beyond these two issues is nitpicking a $20 watch and expecting it to perform like a higher end model. If you want a cheap and reliable watch, this is going to be it. It balances out cost and resistance to immersion. So for your average duty day, this watch does the job just fine. So who is the watch for? Like I said, gym goers, blue-collar workers, anyone in the police, military, or medical field that wants a cheap, easy-to-care-for, low-maintenance watch to do what a watch does. It doesn't look cheap, and honestly, for the vast majority of people's needs, this watch fits the bill. Are you going to barter your way out of danger with this watch?
There's a president with a diamond face. 25 big ones. At Tiffany's. It's yours and we never see each other again.
In 2021? Hell no. Will you cry if you lose it? Unless someone special who's no longer among us gave you this watch, and in that case my condolences, no, you won't cry about it. Just imagine buying $20 worth of BCAA supplements, and you've done the same thing with your money if this watch gets scrapped. Just get another one and continue on. So that's it for my review. I'm definitely working on refining things here and figuring things out. So let me know down below if there's anything that you want me to cover more in detail, or if there's a topic or item that you want me to talk about. So until next time, be good, stay safe, have a good one.